What's the hold up? What's the valley?
What's up, guys? It's your girl Sid, and we are so stoked to finally be back with a brand new, very special, very unique episode of Bridging the Gap, because we are not going to let anything get in our way of bringing new music to the fans. So thanks to the power of the internet, we're going to be talking with our homie all the way in Ohio about his new album, Jay from Shrub. Tell us about the new album, Back to Earth, and what makes it so special.
Well, you know, on the surface, it's like the first new Shrub album that we've put out in over 6 years. So, you know, that in of itself makes it special. But if you dig a little deeper, I think you're going to hear an album that explains the journey that I've been on over the past probably 6 years. And I think just the raw emotion and honesty and the brutal truth of the message that I'm communicating about, I think makes it even more special. I think there's a raw honesty there that hopefully makes this a little more unique than some of the other albums that you guys have heard lately.
I know myself and everyone else has been so excited to hear this new music and to walk alongside you with that path through the good, the bad, and the ugly. The new album comes with so much variety in true Shrub fashion. Can you talk about any of the features and some of the other artists featured on this album?
That's been the really cool part about making this album is all the different folks that I've gotten to work with for the first time. Blaine Dillinger, who I've worked with on the last two albums. He and I actually started Shrub together. He plays with Hyrie now, and he has his own project called Dillinger's Hired Guns. He and I obviously worked on the album together and put a lot of time and effort into this. But getting a chance to work with like some of his bandmates that he plays in Hyrie with, like Matt, he co-produced the album. Matt, the drummer for Hyrie, he's an amazing dude. Amazing musician. That was just an absolute pleasure working with a professional like him. We got Andy, Chris, Andrew, all from Hyrie on different tracks. Working with Mike DeGuzman from Pacifier. So blessed for that too. He's an awesome dude and an awesome musician as well. Jenny Flory, who sings the song Someday You Won't Look This Good on the album with me. She's one of my favorite Columbus vocalists, singer-songwriters. She's just super talented, super sweet. And then Beebs from Beebs and Her Moneymakers. She came in on a song called Mama Always Told Me, and she came in and just killed that track. She added so much of her flavor to it, and I just think her voice is amazing as well. So I think that's really like the core of the people that we had come put the album together. And I'm really proud of the people that we had on there.
There are so many great artists featured on there, and the return of Blaine, the OG Shrub, is so exciting, and I know everybody has been super stoked to hear it. Now, we've all been kind of stuck in our homes because of the things going on, so quarantine, you've been stuck. What are some of the guilty pleasures that you've been getting yourself into?
What are my quarantine guilty pleasures? Ice cream sandwiches. Definitely been hot on the menu lately. I'm not too proud of the way I'm looking right now, but I would definitely blame my girlfriend for bringing me ice cream sandwiches and like 40 of them to boot. Let's see. I was like actually surprisingly enough, I could pass a piss test up until about May 1st, maybe. The whole year I hadn't smoked a lot of weed, ate a lot of weed, anything like that. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but now I can't stop again. I'm fucking addicted. What can I say? I need rehab for marijuana for sure. Just kidding. Hanging out with my dog, has really been fun. Just being home, doing that, writing new music, just pushing the album too, and doing interviews like this, and hanging out with people that are really important to the scene that we're all in. It's all been fun. So hanging out with fun people like you guys.
Yeah, I love that we can still stay connected and do things like this. The one main takeaway I got from quarantine as well is there is no such thing as too many snacks. So back to the album, what was the recording process like for Back to Earth?
Very unique. the first two albums, like I'm used to being there, hands-on in the room while we're creating the sound and the music and any tracking we're doing. But on this one, I really had to put the trust in Blaine. He lives in Southern California. I live here in Ohio. So, just trusting him and Matt to forge the sound of Shrub, was just a lot different. And it was cool because I could work on the tunes or write my melodies and sing my lyrics and send to him, and he might create music to it after the fact, or vice versa. He'd send me a beat and be like, dude, check this out. What do you think? And then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to write to that. So it was just a lot of collaboration this time, which I thought was really, really cool.
Collaboration is key. It's like musical ping pong. So the fact that we're at a time that we have the technology to do so is so incredibly cool. The first track on the album kicks off strong with Shrub Love, which basically shouts out every artist in the scene right now. So I was just curious as to, how you sort of came up with the concept and put it all together.
So that was one of those tunes where Blaine sent me a beat and he was like, I got this track and I want you to, do something with it. And I said, okay. So I sat on it for a while, listened to it, sat on it, listened to it, sat on it. And then one night I was just sitting there and I was thinking about all the things I should be grateful for, because this album really is a lot about being grateful for certain things in your life, and even like through trauma or maybe it's like some dramatic moments in your life that didn't go the way you wanted it to, finding that silver lining and that hope. So, I wanted to keep with that theme and really just express my love to the people and to the scene, that everybody that, is here watching this now or listening to this music or creating this music, we all kind of get that we're in something special. And, it feels to me, it's kind of like, I lived through the days of grunge, and I tell people this sometimes, like where all of a sudden the music scene sort of took over. And I really feel like reggae rock or American reggae or Cali reggae, I've heard it called so many different things, modern reggae, but I call it reggae rock. And what that means to me is just the scene that, Sublime really helped create. Some of the Jamaican reggae artists since 60s, 70s, 80s, they helped create, but really when Sublime passed the torch on, it created a whole new scene. And that's what Shrub Love is. It's expressing that love and gratitude for what was created and also for being, thankful for being a part of it too. So hope everyone appreciates that song and why I wrote it. And hopefully, they can also hear the story I'm telling as well and realize that there's a little more to it than just shout outs.
Yeah, we're all part of one big musical family tree, so we have to look out for each other. What are some of the ways that you've adapted collaborating and working with other artists or other musicians during this time?
I think everyone's got a lot of free time. I'm sure, you've probably heard it a million times by now, but, everyone's got a lot of free time. So, you're just seeing a lot more collabs than you normally would, which is super cool. Even like just internally within Shrub, just working with Blaine and talking about ideas has been amazing. So I think it's really changed the game. People they're busy making really good music right now, and I'm excited to hear what's coming.
Yeah, music brings people together, and there is so much new music coming out every single second of the day, like you said. So has there been any new artists that you've been getting into lately?
I don't know if discovered's the right word. It's more about just finally had a chance to explore the catalogs of, that's a better way of saying it maybe. I kept hearing a lot about Sensi Trails, this band that, released a song recently, and I kept hearing people talk about it, and I was like, oh, I wonder what that is. I've heard that name before, Sensi Trails, but I never really listened to music. And it was super cool to finally just yesterday, had a fire outside and sat around chilling, just thinking about shit, smoking weed, and put on a playlist. And Sensi Trails came on, and I heard the song first, and I was just like, oh, I like this song. Wonder who this is. And I went to Spotify, looked at, who was playing. It was Sensi Trails. So now I'm super excited to explore that. So that's just something recent that comes to mind. Sounded really cool. I've been listening to a lot of Little Stranger. Obviously, knew who they were before all this. My buddy Pete's like a super fan. My girlfriend's super into him as well. She loves the song Augustina. So, I get to hear a lot of Little Stranger, and I'm really into it. I think those guys are great. There's this other band, I've heard about them for a long time too, and I remember they played like Cali Roots a few years ago, and they're called the Hip Abduction, and I had never heard them either until the other day, and I started checking them out, and I'm digging on that too. Catastro, I've been listening to a lot of that. It's a lot of like bands that are up and coming, that are on the verge, and really into that right now.
Yeah, there are so many new great artists on the rise. Now, when we're talking about the album Back to Earth and how it compares to previous albums, what stands out to you most about this album?
I definitely think, it just sounds different, right? The sound and the evolution of Shrub has changed dramatically. I think the core is still there, and still like when you hear it, you're going to be like, this is Shrub. But I think just the feel of it, the mood, the self-reflection, maybe the message of hope that's in it. It feels like one cohesive unit of an album. Like every song means something to the other songs. It's definitely not something you're gonna put on and you're gonna like throw a party and dance around and have a merry old time. It's gonna be hopefully one of those albums that you sit down, put on a pair of headphones, and you just smoke a blunt and close your eyes and listen. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, it's great to get to explore and experiment and really watch a project grow. How did you settle on the title of Back to Earth?
So, there's one song on there specifically that it's called Bright Side of the Moon. And when I'm telling the story of Bright Side of the Moon, I'm talking about it from the perspective of someone that's, like let's say physically on the moon looking back at the earth, if you want to like take it literally. And, there's just this common theme on the album of, I'm gone, I've left, I'm on hiatus, I'm in isolation, I'm just not here, I'm not present. You hear that sort of theme, but then you hear like this, I'm heading back home kind of climactic point at the end of the album. And home for me is, Earth, right? It's not the planet necessarily, it's just your environment, it's this house, right? It's my ratty looking shaved dog that we shaved down because he was so bad. It's just kind of coming back to reality, and it's about Shrub kind of returning back to the world that we were in before, and hopefully getting back in the game and picking up where we left off, and hopefully connecting with a whole new set of fans, and hopefully bringing our old fans with us too.
I always describe Shrub as out of this world, so that falls right in line with that vision. What song from the album stands out the most to you lyrically?
I think every song has its own, story behind it that means a lot to me, to tell you the truth. I think every single song means a fucking lot to me, actually. I think, you take a song like Left Behind, and there's a lot of raw emotion in that song. There's a lot of pain, but there's a lot of hope and even happiness, maybe, in the growth that maybe I feel like I hopefully have had. So I think that plays, that's something that comes to mind immediately. There's a song where I think about my daughter every time I hear it, and I think about conversations we've had, and I think about her life after I'm gone. The song Down on Me, I've talked about it to some other people, but gets pretty deep into a lot of feelings I have about this industry and how hard it can be. So I don't know, man, that's a tough one. That brings up a lot of emotion, honestly, to me, because it's kind of like a diary. The whole album feels like a diary of mine. So I don't know. I'm just gonna say all of them mean a lot to me.
And putting out an album is so vulnerable, and you really put yourself out there. But I know that's what people really relate to the most is that raw and honesty in the lyrics. I know the world is a little bit different on how we receive live music and everything. So what's it been like diving into the world of live streaming? I know recently you were featured on Howie's podcast, Tales from the Green Room. So how was that whole experience?
Yeah, I do appreciate Howie having me on. That was pretty cool of him. So thanks again, Howie. Yeah, live streaming is pretty sweet. You know, I've done like one Q&A session. I've done some stuff with Blaine as well, where we just get on and talk during his morning coffee sesh. You know, just doing other podcasts, interviews as well has been super fun. I'm looking forward to Blaine and I doing another QA together, talking about the album, Back to Earth. So that's going to be super sweet. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's kind of cool that we all can still connect, and we found new ways to connect with each other even while this is all going on. So yeah, pretty cool stuff.
So recently, a couple of our family artists have announced that they're doing drive-in shows. So I was just curious as to how you felt about doing a drive-in show. Would you? And maybe what are the pros and cons on having something like this?
I definitely would play one. I think I'll wait a little while to see what's going on here with people kind of getting back to normal lives myself. But that's just because I'm paranoid about everything. So, yeah, I definitely would. You know, a little difficulty for the Shrub band is that Blaine's in Southern California, and he plays with Hyrie as his primary band, whereas I'm here in Ohio. And, you know, there's just some logistical things that would prevent us from playing more shows. So maybe once in a while you'll see Shrub, but, you know, as it stands now, I'm just going to enjoy being a fan and watching them and just cheering on my fellow friends.
Now, I guess we don't know exactly when this may happen, but when you finally do get to return to the live stage with this brand new album, do you have a vision for what you want to see for this tour?
I definitely want to hit the stage. That's going to be a blast. I mean, I love performing a lot. Something I'm very passionate about. And I think you guys, you know, at the Kaya, I remember you guys coming to that Freak Stomp show, and that was a lot of fun. And it was great to meet you there, actually, as well. But yeah, will we tour again? You know, it's tough. Blaine, again, you know, he plays with Hyrie, and that's his number one project for sure, and rightfully so. So, you know, I don't know what the future holds for us there, but certainly as time permits, you know, I can't wait to get back on the stage, and if a tour comes about because of this, then I'll be in a really good place, you know, mentally, because, you know, it just means that people are responding to Shrub, and they still want to hear us, and I gotta admit, that'd be fun to get back out there and perform again, and, you know, keep creating music and playing it, for sure.
We have our fingers crossed, so I want to know, when this happens, what song are you looking forward most to playing from Back to Earth?
I really want redemption for playing Shrub Love at the last show we played when you guys were there recording it. I mean, I think that was our first song of the day. And that was our first show in like 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. I don't even remember now, too high, but Shrub Love, you know, just because it's a taxing song on a vocalist, like on a rapper, just because it's just nonstop, and it goes and it goes and it goes. And there's a lot of overlaps, right, between different segments of each verse. So it makes it challenging to perform and perform well. But man, at that last show you guys were at, you know, just being out of breath and out of shape, just because I hadn't been on stage for so long, you know, that song was harder to perform. So I can't wait for a little bit of redemption on that one for sure.
Well, we absolutely loved you at Freak Stomp, and we would gladly listen to Shrub Love as many times as physically possible. I gotta know, off this new album, there's a lot of bangers. What is the best song, in your opinion, to blast on your car speakers?
I don't know. I haven't been doing a lot of driving, to be honest, since this album's been finished. So usually I would know the answer to that. I don't know. I think sonically, my radio just really hits pretty hard in the car. Down on Me will hit real hard with that low sub. Well, what else? I think the ending of Left Behind will, you know, be kind of nice to listen to. But I don't know. For some reason, I feel like Radio would be the song I'd turn up as loud as I could.
I agree. I think Radio is the go-to car anthem. Now, social media, the big one, the most important thing for bands, now more than ever, you have a Facebook group for your fans called Shrub Hub. Let's talk a little bit about that, you know, for all the people that may not be a part of the Shrub Hub and need to do it right this very second.
I mean, if I told you about the Shrub Hub, then gave away all the secrets, then you would know what you were missing out on already, so therefore you would have no reason to join. But man, I don't want to give away what's going on in there because it's kind of crazy. So I say if you want to know, you probably need to be a member, so you should probably join the group.
Your secret is safe with me, but the true fans who are still watching this video right now, you know what to do. Go to Shrub Hub right now. And there is a song on the album, Mama Always Told Me, so I'm curious, what is the best advice that your mother has ever given you?
She's given me a lot of advice, and she's definitely an opinionated person who likes to speak her mind and definitely will tell you how she feels, which I obviously appreciate a lot. I think just always being there, actually. It's not just like one simple saying she'd have, but it's more about her actions. And I think just always being there, being supportive of, you know, what I was doing with my life, or at least just always trying to advise me while I'm going through anything, has been maybe her greatest gift. You know, I'm kind of the same way with my daughter too. You know, I always want to be there for her no matter what she's experiencing, because she has her own life that she's traveling on, you know. So just always being there really is the greatest thing I think I ever took from her.
Life really is a gift, and I know things are super difficult right now, and people are really looking to music for positivity and encouraging words. So let the people know, you know, so your best Shrub advice on how to get through the quarantine, as well as social media and where people can find the brand new album, Back to Earth.
I mean, we say something in Shrub that, you know, a lot of people ask what it means, and it's kind of up for you to decide what it means, but it's this phrase, Shrub Love, right? It's kind of become our, you know, our motto or our saying. You know, we are at shrublove.com, for example. You know, it's kind of become our thing. But, you know, it's as simple as love. Shrub, you know, whatever. You know, the love part is what matters. And I think right now, you know, I posted something the other day where I said, you know, love is louder. And I think right now more than ever, every freaking person on this planet, especially in the United States, we just need to start loving each other, you know? And that's the message we need to be preaching, that we just all need to love each other right now more than ever. So just keep loving. As far as our social media, again, shrublove.com. You can find us at Shrub Music pretty much everywhere, like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's Shrub Music. Also on TikTok, it's Shrub Music. So go check that out, because that's fun to play with. But, you know, just keep spreading that Shrub love, and, you know, hopefully you dig the new album. It's called Back to Earth, and it's 8 new tracks from Shrub, and we're back to Earth.
I can't say it enough. Thank you so much, Mr. Jay Shrub, for sitting down with me virtually to talk about this new album. It has been a pleasure. I wish we could be, you know, right here so I can put my arm around you. But I just want to say thank you so much. You were right. Love is louder. And in these times, we have to stick together and support each other the best way that we can, through injustice, through sickness, through health. We are all in this together, and we want to continue to bring new interviews to you in any way that we possibly can, despite anything that's going on. So we are all in this together, Kaya fam. Please, if you haven't already, go to our YouTube page. Click right below here, somewhere. There should be a little red button that says subscribe. You need to subscribe, because I promise you, live music might be at a halt right now, but we are not going to stop getting all this great new music out to you. We want to connect the bands to the fans, and we love you so much. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. And Shrub, you're the shit. Fuck Shrub.
What's the value? Maybe I was stupid, maybe I was slightly thinking I could stick to the low and the highway. Maybe I should jet west, get out on the highway. On unified, try doing this our way. Time to start the movement, time to start the green, start a revolution with us the kingdom. In this vibration, we choose the station. Power is easy, the DC, higher education. sublime. No sign of John Brown, Trevor check the whole week. Johnny no word.